Welcome to the Nest Show, the podcast that brings you insights into the crypto market, trading and investment experiences, and what we're looking forward to as we navigate the space together. Before we get started with the show, I want to thank our friends and sponsors over at Prime XBT, where many of our listeners have already signed up to trade by visiting the birbnest.com/PrimeXBT. Prime XBT is the most powerful trading platform offering immediate access to over 30 assets. Users may trade cryptocurrencies, Forex, commodities, stock indices, and much more, all from a single Bitcoin-settled account.
Spend your crypto anywhere with the Plutus debit card. Visit thebirbnest.com/Plutus. Send cash to your friends and earn free crypto with the Metal Pay app. Learn more at thebirbnest.com/metal.
And now for the show. What the Nest Show is. This is a podcast brought to you by the Birb Nest community, an independent crypto and Forex-centered trading community built to sharpen each other in capturing opportunities in the markets while protecting capital along the way. What this is not. Trading advice. We are not financial advisors, and you should not regard any information here or in the Nest Club as financial advice. You should always consult a licensed financial advisor before making any financial decisions.
Hey, welcome everybody to today's episode of the Nest Show podcast. It's Adrian, it's CryptoBirb here. It's also, again and again, my great pleasure to be hosting this series, this session, this very session of the Nest Show podcast with an amazing guest, with a truly inspiring guest, from whom I really kind of like source a lot of inspiration with regards to the on-chain analysis. I mean, this is such a great and insightful topic and a very broad part of the science that we all try as traders to implement in our financial decisions to an extent to decide whether pretty much market goes up or down, right? So this is the eternal questions. And with the amazing guest, Key, the co-founder of CryptoQuant, we are going to today analyze and discuss the importance of the on-chain analysis for what the most important insights on-chain analysts can actually take from the market to realize and understand about the market directions. It's very great pleasure to be having you as a guest today, Key. How is it going?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. I'm very happy to be having you, as I said, because I think personally as a trader, technical analysis or fundamental analysis or other forms of analysis, these are like pieces of a puzzle, right? These are the elements to complete like a big puzzle of understanding the market principles. So it's perhaps not even about saying or just approving that, okay, technical analysis is good, fundamental is not, right? Or just the sentiment works and I don't know, on-chain doesn't, right? So it's more about kind of like getting the full picture, and to which, especially in the cryptocurrency industry, you need to realize and understand the on-chain analysis and the mechanism that stands behind it. So my very first question to you, Key, would be, what is the on-chain analysis?
So, as you may all know, blockchain transactions are open to public, but we don't know who sent whom because of its anonymity. So, even if $20 billion worth of Bitcoin is moved every single day, it's difficult to analyze it and get trading signals from those, simple network matrix, such as the number of wallets and the number of transactions and whatnot. So basically, on-chain analysis was pretty much fundamental analysis based on the number of wallets, the number of transactions, and those simple matrix. So by utilizing those simple matrix, we can do some kind of fundamental analysis that's already have been existed in the traditional market, like Warren Buffett doing in fundamental investing, right? So we can make.
So you're saying Warren Buffett did on-chain analysis?
Some kind of on-chain analysis to stock market. They evaluate companies' value based out of the financial data of the company, right? So it's like financial data of the Bitcoin, the fundamental data of Bitcoin is the blockchain data, on-chain data. So Our focus is basically collecting address labels. Our data covers 31 major exchanges around the world, 22 mining pools, which cover 98% of who mined Bitcoins in recent 2 years. So we label those exchanges and miners with entities, and calculating the capital flows between those wallets, you can get a chance to figure out what's going on under the hood, just like map expert games. It tells you what enemies are doing. Eventually, you can get a signal for when to buy or sell and predicting risks, right? Those, scam illicit funds, those whales, if those whales send a significant amount of Bitcoins to exchanges, that's going to be a sell signal. So we're trying to find those signals. So more sophisticated signals, not just, utilizing fundamental matrix. If you utilize just raw data matrix, that's going to be a fundamental long-term investment strategy. But if you see the capital flows of those entities, you'll get a more short-term and sophisticated signals. I'll show you later.
Yeah, that's a very good brief introduction to on-chain analysis, people. And I'll tell you what, from my perspective, from my kind of like experience, now from what I know about on-chain analysis, I kind of like only confirm and kind of like just guarantee that what Key is saying is true, because this indeed sort of like reminds me of the fundamental analysis, exactly what you said about, just Warren Buffett doing that for stocks, right? About the kind of like value-based analysis, right? To understand whether or not, an asset is actually overvalued or undervalued at a given point in time. And by observing, the on-chain, for example, like different sort of like trends, right? Being smoothed with sort of like moving averages or other statistical tools, like standard deviation and so on and so forth. On top, it's one kind of like part of that are the trends, and the other parts are the actual signals for what you say, like this sharp, for example, declines, or some sharp like, just advances, right, in some certain like values. So I'm kind of like smoothly referring to this very recent kind of like on-chain spike of the exchange inflows that some of my just Twitter followers, and I guess the on-chain users probably know a lot more about. But these type of like signals, right? Not like on one hand trends, on the other hand something like single events, right? Being some kind of like spikes, like on volume at times. It just shows you, for example, the amount or the significant, of some sort of like Bitcoin deposits on the exchange, right? And again, like one would question how, okay, so they left, they did the deposit, and what then, right? What happens? Well, you usually, by assumption, make a deposit to make a move with that, right? So when you have an asset and when you move it to an exchange out of your ledger, more often than not, especially if it's like just some long-term holding, that, with the asset that hasn't been moved, in ages, in months, then usually, especially after exponential rallies in prices, it's about perhaps realizing profits. Am I right in that?
Yeah, exactly. So we have spot exchanges and derivative exchanges. So when someone sends a significant amount of Bitcoins to spot exchanges, the purpose of that transaction would be selling Bitcoins, I would say. And for derivative exchanges, that's going to be for doing leverage trading. So can I show you a presentation, some charts on that?
Go ahead.
Okay. So this is the average amount of inflows to spot exchanges by hour. And when this value goes above 2, the price is likely to be plunged. So, for example, this part, right? There was a huge whipsaw here. And we can go back to the March great sell-off here. it wasn't goes above 2, and then the inflow mean surge like this, and then price right after the drop, the huge drop here. So this is moving average of spot exchange inflows mean. So we can prepare whale moving by looking at exchange inflows and outflows. If you see inflow total, there are a lots of noise there, but if you see inflow mean, the signal is more clear rather than using inflow total.
What's most important about what you've just shared, I think, with me and with the community, with the viewers to this podcast and with the listeners, I think the realization, the understanding behind what the spikes actually mean, right? So it is unquestionable that the markets are, well, some people would call manipulated, the others would call like managed by of course the market makers and by the whales, right? By institutional whales, by individual whales, as I dare to call it, like retail whales at times, right? So those are the people, the institutions, the organizations that make the swings on the markets, right? These are the people that actually make the market reverse, right? In one direction or another, right? So we talk about the trend, when we talk about the trend reversals on the market, this is exactly what comes with it under the whales of pretty much like from whales, right? So that's what I think many people would not really just understand the point about. And to make it simple for the people, just to make it easier for them to understand, how would you, for example, like, of course, feel free to show it, but how would you pretty much use on-chain analysis in predicting the trend reversals? What are your main kind of like features to
that? So I see flow indicators like MPI, and basically you said market. I believe Bitcoin and cryptocurrency market is somewhat manipulated by whales because it's really small market and there are so many whales out there. So but in order to see trend reversals, we have to look at where entities positions, whales positions, like miners positions and other entities positions. So for example, we have miners position index. Have you heard of it? Miners position index. So miners periodically send Bitcoins to exchanges like this. So it's pretty much they mine Bitcoins and get block reward, and they send it to exchanges periodically. And whenever something unusual situation happens, like Black Swan, COVID-19 sell-off, they decided to sell their Bitcoins. So they move an unusual amount of Bitcoins to exchanges. So this indicator, MPI, is calculated by miner outflows total divided by its 1 year moving average. So when this value goes above 1.5 or 2, miners are selling and they decide the market tops like this. So this indicates miners are still the biggest whale in this Bitcoin market. Every time they sell it, the market is likely to, the bull run likely to be stopped. So they are selling, pretty much sell a decent amount of Bitcoins, but when you see this value was negative at the beginning, since the beginning of this year, So they just started to sell. So we need more time to, not all of those miners or mining tools are selling. So we need more room to the bull run, I think. So in terms of miners selling, I think we have more room for bull run, and then if this value goes above 1.5 or 2, I think that would be the stopping point of this bull run. So this is miner's viewpoint, and we have also whale ratio, exchange whale ratio. So let me know if you have any questions. So
Yeah. For now, it's all good. I mean, what you're showing is extremely valuable. So I definitely don't dare interrupt you. So please go ahead.
Yeah. So this is exchange whales ratio is total top 10 transaction, the amount of top 10 transaction divided by the total inflows of exchanges. Top 10 inflows transaction divided by total inflows exchanges. So basically, when this value goes above 44%, the price likely to be plunged, and that's gonna be a massive drop like this. So this value was, when this value hits the bottom like this, the bull market likely to be started. I specifically mentioned that this whale ratio hits the 2-year bottom at the end of September, and then the price skyrocketed like this. So you can see those tweets on my Twitter. So like I said before, whales determines price. So we need to clarify who manipulate the market, and whenever they send an unusual amount of money to exchanges, that's gonna be a sell signal. And I also have another signal.
In the meantime,
we
while
have-
you're setting the chart, I just kind of like wanted to appreciate and congratulate on how amazingly your platform looks like. I mean, it's really amazing to see this advanced actual integration with, as far as I'm concerned, trading view charts, and putting so much of the data coming from ONCHAIN on top of the trading view charts. I mean, this is really well done. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I really wanna grow this on-chain analysis field, because people invest in bitcoins and cryptocurrencies with religious belief, right? It's doesn't differ from gambling. So I want to make people do more data-driven investment, and the starting point would be on-chain analysis, I think. I love technical analysis as well, but in terms of evaluating Bitcoin, on-chain analysis would, proper investment strategy, I guess. Anyways, so we can see ongoing OTC deals with fund flow ratio. So fund flow ratio is exchange inflows and outflows total, the amount of inflows and outflows total divided by the entire tokens transferred on the Bitcoin network. So it's like the ratio of exchange transactions compared to the entire transactions on the Bitcoin network. And this value kept below 1% since August, right? Since August. So I specifically mentioned on my tweet, hey, this value hits the 3-year low So that means lots of on-chain transactions are ongoing, big wallets are moving, but that's not that those transactions are not evoked from exchanges, and that would indicate lots of OTC deals are ongoing. And actually, MicroStrategy they bought lots of bitcoins on September, right? So we actually predicted those OTC deals, I would say. Maybe we got lucky, but I think this indicator definitely, if you think logically, it definitely indicates OTC deals, and those value kept below 1% since then. So lots of OTC deals are ongoing as well. So I think when this value goes above 1%, I mean 10%, that would be the stopping point of this bull run.
Of the bull run itself, so the entire bull run, or you mean just the short-term trend?
Short-term trend, maybe
Okay.
short-term trend, but yeah.
Okay, so it's definitely, well, it's definitely impressive for what you just shared, and to, let's say, because all the insights that you've just been sharing so kindly with the audience, this still, let's say, may sound a tiny bit complicated for those who are new, and there are many people who are new, actually, as we know, because of the sentiment that just keeps growing on average. For example, of with the fear and greed index that is actually like 73 or 74 right now, something like this. And it just confirms that there are more new people kind of like coming, right? Especially those, well, usually those who are completely unexperienced, and they just kind of like notice that, okay, Bitcoin has grown like insanely since the past, couple months ago, and and they just decide to join the trade late, of course, right? So what I'm asking is, perhaps there are some ways that you could just pretty much like teach them like a very quick move, for example, if there is such a cross, or if there is a divergence against the price, for the indicator declines and the price like advances. So that usually, for example, comes with drops, right? Or with pumps. Like, would you be able to simplify this to such an extent?
Like I said before, exchange determines the price. So it's important to see who sent bitcoins to exchanges. So that would be miners, early investors, hedge funds, and others. And those entities are trying to sell bitcoins. Yeah. And sorry, all exchange inflow means the average amount of deposits to exchanges. So whenever this value goes above 2 bitcoins, it means people, on average, people send 2 bitcoins to exchanges by 1 hour, in an hour. So when those value goes above 2, whales are active and dumping is likely to be happen. So you can, if this value under the 1.5 BTC, we're safe from dumping. So in 2018, there was 3 dumps when this value goes above 2. In 2019, we don't have any, significant whale moving with by looking at this indicator. In 2012, 2020, we have significant whale moving at this point, these points. And we also have whale ratio. Whale ratio means the ratio of total top inflow transactions and the ratio between total top transactions and the total inflows, total deposits. So it's helpful to see mass dumping risks when this value goes above 43%. I would say high risk of mass dumping, and when this value goes below 40%, we're safe from mass dumping. So 43% of total inflow transactions are evoked by whales, and that means we're gonna face with the mass price plunge. So we also have exchange net flow. Net flow means inflows, exchange inflows minus outflows. So when this, in most cases, exchange net flow is likely to keep negative because people are withdrawing their Bitcoins from exchanges to their cold wallets because they think they don't have to sell their Bitcoins on exchanges. They just keep their Bitcoins to their cold wallets. So when this value keep negative, the bull run is about likely to start. On the other hand, if the exchange net flow keep positive for a long time, it's likely to be bearish. And we have miners position index. Like I said before, miners are one of the biggest whales on Bitcoin market. So, and whenever MPI miners position index goes above 1.5, when we're looking at its 30-day moving average, it indicates they are trying to sell their Bitcoins. And whenever those values goes above zero, they decided to hold Bitcoins in their wallets. So this indicator has a very high hit rate in forecasting the bull bear market. And it's interesting that they kind of failed to predict the stock market collapse at the end of 2018 and the March gray sell-off this year. And we have fund flow ratio and tokens transferred. Tokens transferred means the number of Bitcoins transferred in the network, and fund flow ratio means the percentage of all exchanges flows divided by tokens transferred. So it's ratio between the exchange flows and the number of Bitcoins transferred in the network. So tokens transferred has been increased a lot, and fund flow ratio of all exchanges is decreasing. And I posted a tweet about this, and I predicted that this is gonna be OTC deals. 8 days later, Michael Saylor announced that there was a huge OTC deals of MicroStrategy. So
that's amazing confirmation, right?
Yeah, and right after this, PayPal announced that they support Bitcoin payment, and other traditional hedge funds and in Wall Street, they decided to enter Bitcoin market. So I would say massive OTC deals are ongoing as of now, for now. So Bitcoin would go up. We have more rooms for that. So please don't worry.
Yeah, These are, I tell you what, these are like, I know some on-chain stuff. I'm of course like not as pro as you in that. I know some basics. I definitely know a couple of indicators that you actually just posted. Also, because of what you do and what you share with the community, with me as well. So thank you for that. But I definitely just want to well just appreciate how amazingly informative this has just been. And again, despite perhaps to many it may seem just a tiny bit complex, I do highly suggest that whenever you have such a feeling, try to perhaps watch the replay or try to just watch again, right? For how amazingly Key actually explains it to everybody. Because these insights, are the actual ones that you need for big major reversals on the market, right? And this literally helps you to kind of like decide whether an asset, well, in here Bitcoin, is actually undervalued or overvalued based on the on-chain activity and the addresses activity. And I definitely just want to make sure that we cover all the points because you've been so generous with your time already and with your knowledge. I definitely don't want to be just to you know to kind of like take too much business out of your life, if you know what I mean, for your time. But would you be able to tell me a bit more about your kind of like plans for future with CryptoQuant? If you, for example, want to be the main provider in the market, or that you just kind of like consider that more of a test project and see what comes out of it, or you just have already some kind of like plans. But if you are not ready to share that, don't worry, we'll just cut it. No worries.
Let me say this. So we want to replace CoinMarketCap. CoinMarketCap, the purpose of CoinMarketCap is just checking the Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency price, right? But there's no, data insights of where the Bitcoin is going upwards or downwards, the direction of the price. So we can replace the CoinMarketCap by providing nuggets of insights of Bitcoin cryptocurrency price directions based out of the on-chain data. And that's our plan for now.
Key, I'm very, very excited for the presentation that you shared, and as much as the question of about the future, right, of any project always is a very strong one, is a tough one, right? So I definitely imagine there's going to be so many different plans and projects that would actually just appear because of your talents, because of your knowledge, of your insights, and of your actual goodwill that I can tell and confirm personally. And what I just want you also perhaps to kind of like know is that all the viewers, is actually for the viewers, but the presentation that Key was just sharing is going to be available, most likely under the YouTube description in the link. So you're going to be able to download it, right, and just learn out of it as much as you wish. So you actually master the on-chain analysis. Before I let you go, Key, I wanted to ask very quickly about your overall offering for CryptoQuant. Like, what are the tiers? What are the products? What actually services you kind of like wrap up?
So basically, we have three products. For one, a standalone version of trading view charts with on-chain data, and other service and data API. So if you find something interesting insights with our on-chain data, you can set an alert for that So if you see, you can set your alert on this page, and whenever those whales send a huge amount of Bitcoins to exchanges, you can get an alert through Telegram, email, and browser notification. So we periodically post what kind of alerts were significant for actual trading. For example, miner to exchange transactions count. So whenever this value goes above 120, the price plunge likely to happen. The March gray sell-off, for example. So this is 2020 this year, and this is the latest data. And we're safe for now. But we also have 2018 data. There was a huge plunge when this value goes above 120 as well. So we're going to introduce those alerts on our Twitter. Please follow us. And for institutional investors and hedge funds, we also have RESTful API with our ONCHAIN data. You can find out our data at API docs page. You can see lots of data and what kind of entities that we're providing. So let me know if you have any questions. Please send me an email. My email is ki@cryptoquant.com.
Awesome. That's a very good wrap up, Key. I'm very impressed and definitely well done on that. And I'm super positive about your future as the CEO of the CryptoQuant, because what you've been doing in the past couple of weeks and months, it just shows how much of the dedication you're actually having towards this company, towards this project. And I can tell like that's pretty impressive in my opinion. So guys, definitely to all the viewers, you just cannot quit this podcast without leaving a follow button, right? Clicking on the follow button for the accounts of CryptoQuant.com official account with the handle @CryptoQuant_com, right? @CryptoQuant_com. You just need to go there and make it a follow. Same for the CEO, Key, our amazing guest, CEO @CryptoQuant_com. That's the accounts that you need to follow, right? So for Key and the CryptoQuant, you just go make sure to book it notifications on, because actually without it you're kind of like lost the market, and you can definitely just expect many insightful details as we proceed. So I definitely want to appreciate your time today, Key. I'm very impressed with and I'm also sure many people actually have just learned their lifetime lesson for how important the on-chain analysis is. And with your help, this is going to be an amazing journey. And I congratulate you on the amazing success of the platform. And I wish you just nothing but the best. You got all my full support whenever you need. We are good friends. And with that all in mind, would you perhaps like to leave our viewers with some very, very last thought or kind of like a suggestion tip for the future?
So if you invite your friends with your referral link, you will get a $15 discount, and your friends also get $15 discount. And our minimum plan costs just $15. So you'll get a 1 month free if you invite your friends. And tips for on-chain analysis and signals. I think just following us on Twitter, that's it. We're gonna we have nuggets of insights we post lots of analysis on Twitter, and we're gonna add some preset charts and alerts on our platform, so that you can find sophisticated whale signals and miners and other entity signals on our platform. So if this might be pretty hard to understand for novice investors, but you will get a more more sophisticated signals more easily at the end of this year.
Awesome.
Just stay tuned, please.
Awesome. We'll make sure to stay tuned for that, guys. And it's been my amazing pleasure and honor to have Key, the CEO of CryptoQuant, as an amazing guest for today's podcast. I truly appreciate your being here. Thank you for your time. And just all the best luck for you, brother. Thanks for being here.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
SAT revolutionizes online advertising with blockchain technology. Learn more at thebirbnest.com/SATT. The News Crypto platform offers a comprehensive suite of crypto trading tools, indicators, educational programs, and earning opportunities to help you become a more profitable trader. Visit thebirbnest.com/newscrypto to get started.
I'd like to thank our listeners for joining this episode of The Nest Show. If you've appreciated the depth and breadth of what you've heard with us today, subscribe to our podcast and find our landing page at thebirbnest.com. We have a vibrant Discord community which acts as our central hub of operations, and we welcome you to join us at thebirbnest.com/discord. We also offer an extensive free bulletin on emerging crypto market trends, exclusive undervalued gem reports, and in-depth expert technical and fundamental analysis at thebirbnest.com/bulletin. We always appreciate engagement from our community, which of course means liking the video and subscribing to our page, where we insist on bringing you the highest quality content available. Also, we're happy to incorporate tips and topics from our listeners and encourage you to email us at thenestshow@thebirbnest.com. This podcast is brought to you by the Birb Nest. Thank you, and trade on.